Don't let social media ruin your art. When I first started my art career, I was so desperate. I was desperate to make money. I was desperate to be seen. I was desperate for people to connect with my work somehow. That I did a lot of stuff that I'm actually not proud of. I mean, what the are these? What are these? I was so desperate that I pushed out like, honestly, I did a bunch of scribbles because I was like, oh, I haven't done my post for today. I haven't done my 3 posts for this week. The algorithm's gonna hate me. No one's gonna see my work. I need to be relevant. I need to be in people's faces with my artwork. So I just did a bunch of sometimes to get it out there. And honestly, when I was putting some of this stuff out, I was embarrassed. Because I knew I wasn't doing my best. I knew I wasn't putting stuff out that truly reflected me and my artwork. It felt cheap. And I did this just for the algorithm. I just wanted the algorithm to like me. Like, I just wanted to please the algorithm. And I know that there are so many artists going through the exact same thing that I went through. So the real question is social media ruining your art, and what you can do about it? To answer that question, first off, it's not that simple. It's not a question of, is social media bad for your art? It's a question of, is social media bad for you as an artist? Which is probably way worse, I'm not gonna lie. Because if your art is suffering, then your self-esteem as an artist is suffering. And they can't really be separated. So the first step is doing some self-reflection. Are you okay? Is your current way of working on social media helping you or harming you? If you've sat down and you've asked yourself that and you feel like it's more towards the latter, let me give you 3 tips that can help you with this. The first step is to redefine success. What I realized when I was creating art online was that for me, success looked like becoming a successful artist, having people buy my work, and being able to live off of making artwork for other people. To do that, I had to gain a following, and I had to succumb or I had to submit to these algorithms and keep pushing work out, keep videotaping, even though it interrupted the process of me making art. Because if I'm honest, I hate videotaping or filming my art process. It was actually really distracting to be like, oh, stop, change camera angle, do it this way, okay, let's take a break, like, it was very disruptive actually to just like the creative process and getting into the flow. I don't know if anybody else feels this way, but I didn't like it. Through that process for me, it became so much less and less about the art and more about gaining a lot of followers to eventually make a living. By the way, I didn't gain that many followers. If you go on my Instagram, I have like 400 followers. So now that I've taken such a long hiatus from this page, I've really been able to sit back and think, is art that important to me? Of course art is important to me. I love art, excuse my language. I love art, but what I meant was maybe the art making was not as important to me as I thought that it was. So I stopped creating authentically, and I feel like I created more for you. Like for people than actually from my soul. Does that make any sense? I now realize through my experience of doing that, what was more important to me? What was I putting out during that time? What was I focusing more on? And I wanted to have an impact on people. I just see it as this: if I can support artists to do what they love and to have the support that they need and kind of plug in the gaps that artists need, that means that they have more capacity and more support to create the art that they love. Then I can support those artists further by buying that artwork, by supporting them with growing pains, by filling out my house with beautiful art, creating things that helps you do the art that you love. I feel like it's a cycle, like, you know? And so for me, personally, I redefined what success looks like for me, and I aligned it with things that actually matter to me. My second tip is to detach yourself from the metrics. Excuse me, but don't let these algorithms define your work or the worth of your work, okay? If you are doing your best, I say this in almost every video, but literally, if you are doing your best, then that is enough. Don't let views, likes, or shares define the worth of your work. If you think that your work is good, then it's good. Literally no other opinion counts. Likewise, if I say grapefruits are the best fruit in the world, because they are, who is gonna tell me no? Exactly. Like literally, who can tell me no? You cannot change my reality. As an artist, your concern should be being the best that you can be, developing your work, and doing something that you love. If you are focused on being the best that you can be, your efforts will be rewarded, God willing. God willing. My last tip is to take care of yourself. Really, take care of yourself. External validation should not dictate your self-worth and then trickle down to dictate the worth of your art. Literally set boundaries and monitor your feelings and how you're feeling about yourself and your artwork while you are on social media. Things that you should be celebrating are not likes and views and whatevers. It should be small wins, progress, and consistency. I mean, literally, consistency with an art? Are you kidding? How many paintings did Van Gogh do? By you focusing on those things, you are laying the groundwork for when people do eventually, because people will see your work, God willing. But when people eventually see your work, you'll have all that experience, you'll have all that consistency, you'll have all that progress behind you, but they'll be blown away, and you won't have to think about these algorithms and trying to perform for them and shortcoming, like, you know, cheating yourself and your artwork. People will see that through the progress that you make when you are focusing on the right things. Now, I have to say, social media and how it affects your artwork is not black and white. Just like with anything, there can be a lot of good things too. For instance, if I had never started posting on social media, I would have never have pushed and pushed and pushed and developed some really cool artwork and skills. You see this? Do you see this? Okay, for a lot of artists, this might be nothing, but for me, I developed so much to be, you have no idea, I developed so much to be able to create this from my head and actually make it. You have no idea. I am so proud of this, and I would have never have gotten there without social media. Same with this, okay? I know that it's a simple drawing, very simple perspective, very simple drawing. But guess what? I had never done something like that before. And this got into an actual show, bro. This got into a show. It was on one of the posters to promote the show. I would have never have gotten that far to be able to paint something like that without social media. Also through social media, I've been able to talk to you, I've been able to have fun making these videos, to grow a following, to start growing paints to help support artists. Like, there are good things that happen with it too. I mean, don't get me wrong, social media is still an evil entity, benefiting from the hard and free labor of artists and creative people in general. But some really good things can come out of it too, and we cannot make a video talking about social media without acknowledging that. So what you need to do is just set yourself some boundaries. If you are watching this from my newsletter, Growing Paint for Artists That Need a Hand, and a hug. Thank you so much for signing up to my newsletter. I hope that you like this edition. In my newsletter, I give tips, advice, tricks, whatever I find for artists. It's bi-weekly, and you can sign up via the links below. If you're just a random from YouTube watching this, thank you for clicking my video. I really appreciate that. And then while you're all here, can I just say thank you for watching till this very end of the video. You do not have to watch to the end of these videos, but if you made it here, you are doing that, and I really appreciate that. I really do, because it just helps me. So thank you so much. You didn't have to, but the good person in you did, and all I can say is thank you. Definitely sign up to my newsletter, and guess what? I'll see you in the next one. Aha! Take care. Bye.